The Lord's protection and blessing is with us, dear heart dwellers, on this channel and on our websites. He is totally protecting us from some of the sharp arrows the enemy has been launching into our backs. And I just want to mention very quickly, because he has a message that has to do with the rapture that I need to get out to you towards the end of this teaching. I just wanted to let you know that there is an anti-channel and a few channels who are actually downloading my teachings and then criticizing them. I haven't really looked at them, I've just heard about them. So there's someone calling themselves Still Small Voice, using my avatar and having a channel image that looks a lot like ours. So just beware. Understand that if you read anything ugly or negative, it didn't come from me. And just so you know, she calls herself Sister Clare in some of them, so be careful, please, and understand that anything negative is not from the Lord, is not from me. So that said, today is November the 17th, 2015, and just for your information, we've had a schedule change. The messages will be posted sometime in the early afternoon every day instead of first thing in the morning. The Lord was talking a little bit about the warfare getting more intense against our channel, and told me that He was our defense and to leave it all to Him. Just surrender it all to Him. And then He began to remind me about the triage blog site that I'm working on right now. I haven't announced it to you yet, guys, because I haven't got it populated quite enough. But He's wanting me to really get down and get busy with that, so I'm going to. He mentioned about that. He said, your biggest fight, because I asked him, well, Lord, what do you want me to address on the triage site? You know, for people who are really questioning some of the things that He's been teaching me and sharing with us. And he said, your biggest fight is intimacy. If they can't deny it, they'll try to twist it. Therefore, you must approach it in two ways, scripturally and experientially. Much of the problem is fundamental ignorance as to how close is close with me. It reaches deep down into the soul. Close is all-enveloping, like a rose blooming from the inside. The seed is given at conversion and even baptism, and through the years, as the love for me is guarded and nourished, it blossoms into an all-consuming fragrant garden of pure, heavenly love. Something few experience on this earth, without passion and sex entering in. He continues, I do not wish for anyone to be excluded from this relationship of pure intimacy with me. Understand that I know you, my sons and daughters. I see what no one else sees. I understand the makeup of your body, your hormones, and what your flesh fights against your spirit with. There is nothing to be ashamed of when you are with me. I already know and understand well the challenges you undergo day after day. You will find that even when sexuality assaults you in my presence, I totally ignore it while you put it in its place. There's a fierce demon of lust assigned to the spiritually minded. This demon is fierce and bent on bringing all of you down into utter disgrace. But I see your heart. I see your intention. I see your struggles and the means used to attack you from outside of yourself. Some of you are more vulnerable because of your youth. Let me explain it to you this way. When this urge tries to take you over, picture yourself in front of me, my expression calm and compassionate, and allow me to say only one thing. You know where this came from, so what are you going to do about it? Then ask for my help. For if you crumble into a ball of shame, it only causes the lustful impulse to become stronger. When the demons see they are conquering your resolve, they set upon you with even more force. Your best recourse is to completely ignore it and change the subject. And yes, of course, in my name bind spirits of lust, but also degradation. You see, the whole tactic is to degrade you, cause you guilt and shame. So you must bind that as well. Then begin to worship me and change the subject. If you're convicted of gossip or wrongdoing, confess it, ask for forgiveness, and continue to worship. You should always have some strongly anointed songs on hand so you can change the subject immediately. Yes, it is humbling. Yes, it is degrading. But if the thought did not originate with you and you refuse to entertain it, you're innocent and without guilt. Please, can we put that to rest now? I want to move on with you. You have heard me say, as I have said many times before, that the rapture is soon. I have offered you a new way to handle the tensions involved in this event. Knowing it is soon and planning your lives, pursuing your God-given course, can be managed without all this mystery and stress. Very simply, live your lives in obedience from moment to moment. If you know you are to go to school, continue to go. But remember, the shofar may sound at any moment. If you're getting married and having children, continue on, obeying me, following my plan for your life. Refuse, utterly refuse to get entangled in such specious arguments as, what if he comes tomorrow? What if he comes next week? What if he comes next year or in 30 years? These are all temptations from the enemy to dilute your effectiveness right now in this moment with the calling I've set before you. If you've been given visions about future ministry, future gifts, do not try to fit them in your human time frames. You see, this is an act of unbelief. When I tell you that I'm going to do such and such in your life, I tell you so you may understand where I am ultimately taking you. Not so that you can stress and plan and question and doubt in your own mind. Not so that you can reason it out, whether it's before or after the rapture. None of this has any bearing on the so-called time frames of heaven. None of it. What I have promised I'll do with you, I will accomplish with you. But it will be done in my timing and my order. Once I tell you what I'm going to do with your life, once I give you the vision, bury it deep in your heart. Such a precious gift is not for you to know the times and seasons of, or exactly how I'll go about it, and in what order. Questions like these that arise in your minds come from the enemy, or your own double-mindedness and insecurity about my ability to do what I've promised you. Do you see that, my loves? Do you understand the origin and dynamics of such reasonings? I tell you so that you might glory in my providence and how I go about things, that you might have a reference point for those strong urges in your souls. Yes, you feel these inspirations because I've put them in your heart. My mother buried these things in her heart. And then I was led to look up Luke 1:18. All who heard these things wondered at the things which were told them, but Mary treasured all these things, pondering them in her heart. And that really caught my attention, guys. All who heard it wondered at the things which were told them, but Mary treasured all these things, pondering them in her heart. So here you've got wonderment about what these things meant. Speculation of every kind accompanied all these events. But Mary treasured all these things, pondering them in her heart. The Lord continues here. She knew full well what my plans were, and to her all these things were signs along the way of the mystery and glory of the Incarnation. She didn't question how all would be accomplished. Rather, she reveled in the unfolding of my providential care, knowing that in due time all that was written in Scripture would come to pass. This is abandonment to my providence. It's supremely pleasing to me. It shows the confidence and faith of a soul who knows their Maker is a faithful God. No matter what conditions look like, no matter how impossible it seems, they know that with me, nothing is impossible. So I do not give you these inspirations to do certain things in the future so that you can enter into the planning and manipulate things. No, I give them to you to ponder in your heart, to secure in faith that which I have placed in your hearts I am indeed capable of accomplishing. Yes, Jesus, I trust in you, when said from the heart in total conviction, are the most beautiful words you could ever say to me. You were saying, I know you, Jesus. I know you are faithful. I know you are omnipotent and can do everything, no matter how difficult, that nothing at all is beyond your ability. And I know you love me, and all you ordained for my life springs from that love that drove you to be crucified on the cross so my purpose in life could be fulfilled. Nothing, no, nothing is more comforting to my heart than to see you believe and act on these words in a world where God is just a nebulous, neutral force playing with people's lives and the elements. So as you progress through this season, keep an eye on your wandering minds, trying to make sense of what's going to happen when. Rather, fulfill my words to you, to be vigilant to the needs of others around you. You are placed strategically in an important place. Make every moment count, not with useless speculations, but with the fullness of obedience, to alleviate the suffering around you and bless those who are less fortunate than you. When I was hungry, you fed me. When my car wouldn't start, you helped me. When I was slipping on the ice, you came to my rescue. Remember this from moment to moment and day to day. Do you see that hungry homeless person sitting in the doorway trying to keep warm? Get them some hot food and spend time with them. Bless them in my name. Do you see a single mother struggling to get her groceries from a snow-packed driveway into the house with her little ones, toddling along? Lend her a hand. Go out of your way and shovel the snow off her driveway. Do you see someone fruitlessly trying to start their car to go to work? Go lend a hand. Do they need a battery? Do you have the cash? Go buy them a new battery for their car. Do you see your neighbor stuck in the driveway? Go spread salt beneath their tires and give them a push. This is what I mean. These opportunities are all around you. I have made sure of it. I make this promise to you right now. If you love me, you will obey me, and you will no longer have to worry about your destination or the rapture. You will resemble me, and I will take you to myself. Just as an aside here, I want to tell you that we've also been convicted about the needs of others around us, and we live right next to a reservation, and the poverty there is staggering. I mean, there are children waiting for a bus, 24 degrees outside, no coats, no boots, and we just got a huge snowstorm here in Taos. And fortunately, we've been able to meet with some of the people on the reservation and find out who the poorest families were. And you wouldn't believe the needs. Some of these people don't even have heat in their houses. They need stoves. They need firewood. The needs have just been coming from everywhere. Once you open your eyes and you're vigilant, you begin to see these things. So I want you to know right now that when anything extra comes in to this ministry, that's where it goes. It is going to the needy, in Taos and to people out on the mesa who live a very tenuous life at best. And I encourage you to look around you for people, who don't have snow boots and don't have coats. Try to help them and meet their needs. You can't do it all, but you can do something. You can do a little something. So God bless you all, and I pray that Holy Spirit would inspire all of us to be attentive to the needs of our neighbor. Everything that we do for them, we've done for Jesus himself. The Lord bless you, heart dwellers. Thank you for being on our channel.